Jordan is one of those countries that can look small on a map, but becomes much larger the moment you start following the roads, rivers, borders, and histories that pass through it. Officially called the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, it sits in the southern Levant of West Asia, between Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the Palestinian West Bank. It has desert landscapes, ancient cities, religious history, refugee communities, and one of the most recognizable archaeological sites in the world, Petra. Jordan's modern story is not only about its own territory, but also about its position at the meeting point of empires, trade routes, wars, and migrations. To understand Jordan is to understand a country shaped by scarcity, survival, diplomacy, and geography. Geography defines Jordan in a very direct way. The country covers about 89,342 square kilometers, making it modest in size compared with many of its neighbors. Much of its land is semi-arid or desert, which means water and fertile land are limited and precious. To the west, the Jordan River runs through the Jordan Rift Valley and flows into the Dead Sea, one of the lowest points on Earth's surface. In the southwest, Jordan has a short but important coastline on the Red Sea at the Gulf of Aqaba, giving the country access to maritime trade and tourism. This mix of desert interior, river valley, and tiny sea outlet has strongly influenced settlement, agriculture, trade, and politics for centuries. Jordan's capital, Amman, is also its largest city and the most populous city in the Levant. Today it is the political, economic, and cultural center of the country, but its importance is not new. The region around Amman has been inhabited since ancient times, and layers of history are visible in and around the city. Modern Amman is a place of government ministries, universities, hospitals, businesses, and expanding neighborhoods. It has also absorbed large numbers of people displaced by conflict in surrounding countries. This gives the city a character that is both Jordanian and regional, shaped by long-established families, Palestinian communities, Iraqi arrivals, Syrian refugees, and people from across the Arab world. Human settlement in Jordan goes back to the Paleolithic period, meaning people have lived in this region for hundreds of thousands of years. During the Iron Age, three important kingdoms developed in the area historically known as Transjordan, Ammon, Moab, and Edom. These kingdoms were not isolated desert outposts. They were part of a wider world connected to ancient Israel, Arabia, Mesopotamia, and the Mediterranean. Their locations along trade and migration routes gave them strategic importance, while their struggles reflected the pressures of living between larger powers. The names of Ammon, Moab, and Edom still echo through archaeology, biblical history, and the historical memory of the southern Levant. One of Jordan's most famous historical chapters came with the Nabateans, an Arab people who built a kingdom centered on Petra in the 3rd century BC. Petra became a wealthy and sophisticated city because it sat along trade routes that linked Arabia, the Levant, and the Mediterranean world. The Nabateans mastered the challenge of water in a dry landscape, building channels, cisterns, and systems that allowed urban life to flourish in an arid environment. Petra's carved rock facades are visually spectacular, but they are only part of the story. The city also represents engineering, commerce, cultural exchange, and the ability to turn harsh geography into strategic advantage. Jordan later became part of the Greco-Roman world. During this period, several cities in Transjordan formed part of the Decapolis, a group of cities influenced by Greek and Roman urban culture. These cities were centers of trade, administration, architecture, and public life. Roman roads, theaters, temples, and city plans connected the region more tightly to the eastern Mediterranean. After Roman rule, Byzantine influence spread, and Christianity became an important presence in the area. Churches, mosaics, and religious sites from this era remain part of Jordan's heritage. This period shows Jordan not as a remote borderland, but as a connected zone within major imperial and cultural systems. After Byzantine rule, the region became part of the expanding Islamic world. It came under the Rashidun, Umayyad, Abbasid, and later Ottoman systems of rule. Islam became the dominant religious and cultural force, while Arabic became central to identity and administration. Over time, Jordan's towns, tribal communities, pilgrimage routes, and desert landscapes were woven into the wider Islamic civilization. Under the Ottomans, the region was part of a much larger imperial structure that connected Anatolia, Syria, Arabia, Iraq, and beyond. For centuries, the area now called Jordan was not a separate modern state, but a crossroads within larger political orders. The modern political shape of Jordan emerged after World War I. During the war, the Great Arab Revolt of 1916 challenged Ottoman rule in the Arab provinces. After the Ottoman Empire collapsed, the former Ottoman territories in the region were divided under new arrangements shaped by British and French influence. In 1921, the Emirate of Transjordan was established under Hashemite leadership and became a British protectorate. This was a critical turning point. The boundaries, institutions, and ruling system of modern Jordan began to take form during this period. In 1946, Jordan gained independence and became officially known as the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Jordan's relationship with the Palestinian question has deeply shaped its modern history. During the 1948 Palestine War, Jordan captured and annexed the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, and held it until the 1967 war, when Israel occupied the territory. This changed Jordan's politics, demography, and regional role. In 1988, Jordan renounced its claim to the West Bank in favor of the Palestinians, a major step in separating Jordanian state identity from Palestinian national aspirations. In 1994, Jordan signed a peace treaty with Israel, becoming one of the few Arab states to do so. These decisions placed Jordan in a delicate diplomatic position, balancing security, identity, and regional pressures. Jordan's population is about 11.5 million, and the country is overwhelmingly Sunni Muslim, with Arab Christians making up most of the remaining population. But these simple demographic categories do not capture the complexity of Jordanian society. The kingdom has repeatedly received people fleeing conflict in neighboring lands. Since 1948, large numbers of Palestinian refugees have lived in Jordan, and many hold Jordanian citizenship. In the 2010s, the Syrian civil war brought another major influx, with around 1.4 million Syrian refugees residing in Jordan in 2015. The country has also offered refuge to Iraqi Christians and others escaping violence. Jordan's humanitarian role is significant, but it has put major pressure on housing, schools, water, healthcare, and employment. Politically, Jordan is a semi-constitutional monarchy. It has elected institutions and a formal political system, but the king holds wide executive and legislative powers. The ruling Hashemite dynasty traces its legitimacy through religious and historical connections, and the monarchy has remained central to national stability. Jordan has often pursued a cautious and pragmatic foreign policy, maintaining ties with Western countries, participating in Arab and Islamic organizations, and trying to avoid the worst effects of regional upheaval. When the Arab Spring shook many parts of the Middle East after 2010, Jordan experienced pressure and protests, but it was mostly spared the large-scale violence that devastated several neighboring states. Jordan's economy faces difficult structural limits. It is one of the smaller economies in the region and lacks the large oil and gas reserves that have transformed some neighboring countries. Water scarcity, limited natural resources, refugee pressures, and regional instability all restrict growth. At the same time, Jordan has important advantages. It has a skilled workforce, a relatively developed health sector, and a reputation for stability that can attract foreign investors. Tourism is a major asset, from Petra and Wadi Rum to the Dead Sea, religious sites, and medical tourism. Jordan's challenge is to turn stability, human capital, and heritage into sustainable development despite a demanding regional environment. Jordan matters because it is more than a desert kingdom between larger neighbors. It is a state built at a geographic and historical crossroads, where ancient trade routes, imperial frontiers, religious traditions, and modern conflicts meet. Its identity has been shaped by Ammonites, Moabites, Edomites, Nabateans, Romans, Byzantines, Islamic caliphates, Ottomans, British influence, Arab nationalism, Palestinian displacement, and regional diplomacy. Today, Jordan continues to balance monarchy and parliament, tradition and modernization, refugee responsibility and limited resources, peace treaties and public opinion. Its story is one of adaptation, surviving with little water, few natural resources, and many external pressures, while remaining a central piece of the Middle Eastern puzzle. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.